What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. So, this has become an important topic across social media platforms, in regular conversations amongst friends and family after the recent election. Should people let politics break up friendships? Should politics dissolve friendships? And so, I'm going to say this. Yes, sometimes they absolutely should, and sometimes it's necessary, right? I'm not even going to the Democrat and Republican type of politics. Sometimes it comes down to liberal ideologies and conservative ideologies, right? And if you have ideology, if your ideals are rooted in anti-black conservatism, I can't I cannot rock with you. I cannot be cool with you. I cannot be friends with you. I can't smile in your face, hee hee ha ha ha, act like it's all love. I can't do that. You know? Um, I love my people too much for like anti-black conservative ideals to let that ride and still be cool with you if you on that type of time. Um and I'm never acting like I'm the most pro-black person on the planet. I'm never acting like that. I'm not. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to act like that. But there are certain things that are deal breakers for me, right? And I'll give y'all a short anecdote. So in college, I had a friend I had in college. Me and him became super cool, super close, all of that, right? And so, after years of us knowing each other out of the blue, he starts becoming this super, super ultra conservative guy and starts putting these messages all across his social media platforms. He starts talking like Stevie Knight, like the Cartier family. He starts talking like No Life Shaq. Racism is not that big of a deal. It's not a big problem for black people. Systemic racism isn't a real thing anymore. Black people get offended by words. Then who cares if people say the N word? He starts like downplaying systemic racism all across the board. I'm stuttering, excuse me, my apologies. So I started taking notice of this. And so when he starts putting these messages all across, and I believe he started going down that YouTube rabbit hole where you start seeing people talk about, he started watching Thomas Sowell. He started to buy, that's what he started watching. He started to buy into that pseudo intellectual type talk. Okay. And I remember this one time he put up stuff about racism not being a problem for black people. Mind you, this is a black man from the state of Arkansas. Okay. A state where I saw the most Confederate flags I've ever seen in my life. Okay. I went to school in Mississippi. I was in the Delta. I saw more, and yes, now Mississippi had the Confederate flag in the state flag. But I'm talking about individual Confederate flags. I saw more Confederate flags flown in Arkansas than I had ever seen anywhere. Okay? Yeah, so black man from Arkansas, and he's just downplaying racism at every turn. People start bringing up points of people buying homes and home appraisals and racism within that and getting loans, black people getting loans. And they started saying things to him like, hey, what if this would have happened to your son? How would you feel? And again, he started getting on Jason Whitlock time. Man, black people always had it rough. So shoot, I would take honor in him having to work twice as hard and 3 times as hard as everybody else to get to, as white folks had to get what he had to earn. They was telling him, you don't want your son on equal footing as everybody else. No, I mean, it would make him appreciate it more if he worked 4 times hard, 3 times harder than white people did. And I'm looking like, what? Just sounding like real, like Uncle Ruckus type. It was wild. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And going off the deep end. And so when people were making counter arguments to him, I started liking the counter arguments that people were presenting to him when he was trying to downplay racism. He saw that, he got wind of that, he unfriended me on Facebook, right? And this is a person I've been knowing for years now. We tight and all of that. Um, I have not spoken to that brother since 2019, 2019. And I have not spoken to him because it just lets me know I can never be cool. we don't have nothing in common, brother. We not nothing alike. You're okay with systemic racism being in place. I'm not. I have 2 children. I don't want my children having to work 4 times harder than everybody else. I don't. I want them to work hard. I want them to know the value of hard work. I want them to be able to. I don't want them to take things for granted. I want them to have a great work ethic. But I don't want things to be much harder for them than everybody else. I would be a terrible parent if that's the type of ideology and mindset I had. You know, I can't be friends with somebody who's okay with black children getting the shorter end of the stick and not getting a fair shake in this world. Because now you're going to spread that ideology. You're going to spread the message that with black people are okay with that. And then you're going to be an enabler of systemic racism. You become an enabler of anti-black racism. Okay? Because now you're letting everybody else know you're okay with our standings and how things are going. You're downplaying racism. You're making it seem like everything that happens to us is all our fault. Now, yes, as a community, we have to take accountability for certain things. But systemic racism, dog, come on. Come on, fam. Like, no. People were pointing out all of these different things and black people getting loans and all this type of stuff. And he was just shooting it down. And I mean, sounding just like Thomas Sowell. You know, black racism is not a problem anymore. That's a problem that we had in the civil rights era. That has long gone. And I'm like, brother, you're from a state where the Confederate flag is flying all the time. You know, but he wanted to be ultra conservative. So when I know you don't value black prosperity, when you uphold ideologies and that keep black people down, I believe you will throw black people under the bus at any turn because you're already doing it. You're already showing you're okay with that. So I can no longer be friends with you. I cannot be cool with you. I don't wish him no ill will. I don't want no harm to come to him. I don't wish anything bad upon him. Not at all. But I just know we cannot coexist in a friendship anymore. And what's interesting is that this brother played football. And I have a certain, and I'm not saying this about everybody that plays football. I'm not saying this about every black man. But it's a lot of black men who get on that Thomas Sowell, Jason Whitlock time. They do that because, first of all, white people love football to the depth of their soul. Football runs America. America is mostly populated by white people. And so when you're really good at football, and he was, you spend your time rubbing shoulders with a lot of white folks and they, you know, and you get close to them. They love the fact that you're very athletic and very skilled in the sport that they love, so they come to admire you. And so then you start to take up some of their ideologies because they are anti-black. There are a lot of anti-black racists who love football. And you start to take up their ideologies because they treat you well. They are nice to you. They want to be friends with you. They cozy up to you. And then you start to, oh man, well, yeah, they're saying this. Yeah, they got the Confederate flag on their car, but they can't be racist. And you start to make excuses for them in certain areas because they're nice to you. Because who doesn't love an outstanding athlete? Especially in America's favorite pastime now is football. It's not baseball, okay? And so I believe that's what happened to him. He would get, pats on the back and attaboys for being great at football. And he started watching this certain YouTube content and he started to take up these ideologies of anti-black racists. And he went down that rabbit hole, and so when I saw that, me and him could no longer coexist. Again, I wish him no harm. I wish the best for him, but it's like he did a complete 180. He was not like this during the time that we were close and we got bonded. And I don't know what happened. I do believe he started watching individuals like Stevie Knight And people like that on YouTube become prosperous in the YouTube lane with these anti-black ideologies. They start to get a lot of money. And when the revenue starts to come in, logic leaves a lot of times. When you're making money, people's logic leaves them. People's pride, integrity leaves them a lot of time when they're making money. And a lot of these content creators started to emerge. They started to emerge. And I believe he saw so much of that content and how popular it was and how lucrative it was. He started to take up that same mindset and thought, hey, my life could be better if I attach myself to these anti-black ideals. Like, he was shooting down racism at every turn. I mean, arguing people up and down that racism don't exist. I'm looking like, brother, you black and you from Arkansas. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and so when he got on that super ultra anti-black conservative train, he got on that ultra conservative train that was anti-black. There's no need for us to be communicating consistently. If y'all saw him, I would speak. But as far as it goes, if he across the room, I'm not going to seek him out to speak. Like, if we come across each other face to face, I'm going to speak. But it ain't going to be no, what's up, man? We need to hang. No, we don't. We do not. I don't know. Because I know you don't have the best interests of our people, our children at heart, for real. You know what I mean? So I can't. Yeah, I know you'll throw out people under the bus at any time. Just to look like, just for white approval. And when I say these type of things, I don't want people to think I think white people are evil or bad. I don't. But if you're a non-black person or a black person, if you're a black person, this is a black person I'm talking about. If you're black or you're non-black and you identify with anti-black ideals, anti-black racist type of ideology, if you align yourself with that, I cannot rock with you for the life of me. You know what I'm saying? I could not. There's no way I could be on the phone laughing it up with you. Hee hee ha ha. Let's go out. Let's go get some food. Let's go to this function. Let's go to a game. Let the kids come over. No. First of all, I don't want my kids being riddled with your nonsense, but my kids will be ingrained with my ideology. Not, you would hope. You would hope. You hope and pray, right? Because sometimes you just never know. Knock on wood. But yeah, I don't want that seeping into my children, that type of anti-black ideology you spewing. So no, my kids can't come over there. We can't go have a great time and go kick back when I know this how you feel. This how you rocking. So in the case of stuff like this, yeah, politics can break up friendships. Absolutely. And they should. What do we have in common, brother? Other than us being black? You don't value the prosperity of black people for real when you deny racism. When you act like it's not as a figment of our imagination. When you have excuses for anti-black racism, anti-black racist violence, you make excuses for. You stand firmly in you being okay with systemic racism because your son will have to work 4 times harder than everybody else. Like that's a badge of honor. It's not. Our ancestors didn't want us to do that. They wanted us to be on equal footing. That's it. That's all.